All right, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to knock this out, okay? We're going to talk about the last element today, and that is experience, okay? If you're following this is a series of videos talking about the top 10 elements of lit, and we have finished all of them except one, which is the last one, and that is experience. Now, I probably could have squeezed this in somewhere else. I mean, realistically, I don't want to have to flip to a new page and write it there. And I mean, I guess technically it doesn't even matter what order the elements are in. So before we move on to the last element, let's just do a quick little recap of everything we've done before. I guess it doesn't really matter what order it's in. I mean, having a Bob Ross moment here. It's your painting, make it yours, you know, that kind of thing. All right, so this is everything that we have done so far. Basic definitions. We did an elements reference guide, so we can quickly have a at a glance like list of everything we got. We talked about plot, the different way, like what is plot and the different ways to build one. We drew little pictures. We also talked about tracking styles, talked about setting. We talked about characters, point of view, theme, which is right up there, the hidden universal message, tone and mood, conflict. Then we did symbolism and style, okay? Now, like I said, experience is really, really short. I really don't want to kill another page, but I guess I'm going to murder another page today. Like I said in other videos, I am going to re-record all of these lessons and notes because this was a very, very fast version just so I could get it done for online teaching. So I will re-record all these and make them better in the future when I have more time. Okay, elements of lit, the last one we got. Experience, or EXP. Okay. Hopefully you guys have been having a good time so far with these videos. I hope it hasn't been too terrible. Experience. What is experience? Quite simply, this is the author's life experience and how it is projected into their story. So, the author's life experience. And how it impacts the story. That's basically it. So, for the most part, now the rest of everything I'm going to discuss is going to be explaining why this matters. So, if you are just watching this video just to get the definition, then I think you're going to miss out because you have to really give this some context. Some people will understand this, some people will not, okay? So experience. Well, it's all a matter of perspective, okay? Everything that an author goes through in life is going to impact their art in some way, shape, or form. And I have a few examples here, but you need to understand that, like, you as a student or teacher, whoever's watching this, your life experience affects your daily personality. It affects the actions you would take. It affects the people you talk to and things like that. Well, experience makes all the difference in the world for authors as well, because they usually will pour their heart out into their art, into whatever it is that they're creating. You know, Pierce Brown created Red Rising because he was feeling very particular feelings at the time, and he was doing research on different ancient political systems and war and things like that. I'm sure, you know, Margaret Atwood wrote The Handmaid's Tale because she wanted a book to empower females to be independent. It's all how they put their own spin on life, okay? So let's get to some of my examples here. Oh yeah, the Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Gilman. So The Yellow Wallpaper is a fantastic half-hour long short story about a woman. It's a feminist story about a woman who is forced to take a rest cure because she is distressed, okay? So her husband is forcing her to basically stay in a locked room, and she cannot write, she cannot go out, she can't talk to anybody. She's forced to rest, right? Back in the day, there was an idea saying that, like, oh yes, this is a great way of dealing with stress. You would just force somebody to rest. Little did people know in the world of psychology that that basically doesn't work, and it causes even worse repercussions. So Ms. Gilman wrote this book, The Yellow Wallpaper, to kind of indicate that. It was supposed to be a female empowering story about relationship abuse, because the story goes the woman is locked away in a room by her husband, and her husband is supposedly a doctor. It gets to the point where the woman in question has to just take random chemicals, and she can't even keep track of them. And eventually she just goes insane because of what's happening to her in this place. And it was to point out at the time, Ms. Gilman was trying to point out that these types of therapies, did not work. And she accomplished that task as far as we know. So moving on, I think I have Stephen King. Yeah, Stephen King, I've watched a few interviews with this guy, and, this dude publishes books like crazy. He makes a lot of different stories, and so I'm constantly fascinated with, where do you get ideas? And basically, in one of the interviews that I saw, Stephen King said, well, I basically just hate everything, and I write about the things that make me mad. And so, he was talking about going to the store and having, a pet peeve of somebody not doing something at the grocery store. And so he decided to take that idea and turn it into a full-length novel. And that's just the kind of talented writer that he is. So yeah, life experience is poured into everything. Now, I don't have an example up right now, but I had mentioned in an earlier video, that's kind of it for my elements of lit. Anything else we're going to do with that PowerPoint, we're going to do in class. I didn't have this on the PowerPoint slide, but I mentioned Franz Kafka, okay? I love to talk about Kafka because he's such a fascinating author, and I love his work. So Kafka had an abusive father, both physically and emotionally, and a lot of this turmoil that he suffered through went directly into his writing, and also into just his own self-confidence with everything. So I have a copy of Kafka's diary, by the way. It's really funny to read because it's just really, really miserable. The guy beats himself up a lot, and he never was a rich author or anything. He just kind of published a little bit of work, and that was about it. So Kafka had an abusive father. He even went so far as to write a letter explaining to his dad, you are the cause of my misery and things like that, to which his father, didn't obviously care. Well, when Franz Kafka was getting older and, he was getting close to dying, he had talked with one of his friends and basically said, hey, broski, when I die, I would like you to burn all of my work. So the friend was like, I got you, bro. I'll do that. So Kafka dies, and the best friend, instead of burning everything, decides to publish Kafka's work. And Kafka ended up becoming one of the most legendary authors in all of writing. And so, we have that amazing art from Franz Kafka purely because of his life experience. I often tell my students, as bad as this is, but misery makes good art, because it means that people will have an outlet to pour all of their negative emotions into, and it can create some amazing things for other people. So that's not to say that you have to be miserable to write a good story, but it can, in times, it can give you an edge of sorts, or it can give you a direction to focus on, or something like that, whatever you want to say. So anyway, life experience, it'll help you write some stuff, okay? The thing I need you to understand is that your life story matters regardless of who you are. If you're one of my students, if you're a teacher, your life story matters, and you are valid, and you need to remember that. You need to embrace your own life story and share that with other people if you can. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the elements of lit. If you have stuck with me for every single video since the beginning, then props to you. You probably have some better notes than I do, because I rushed that a little bit. But I hope this video was informative. If you liked this video, obviously I would really encourage you to leave some kind of comments to me or contact me somehow and let me know. When I have more time on my hands, I will re-record all these videos in a more serious manner with more detailed notes and so on and so forth, or cleaner notes at least. But yeah, I thought that's it for doing things in a pinch during the COVID-19 quarantine. Anyway, thanks for watching all that. Peace out, everyone.